Let's see how to define connections in StruBIM Steel. To create a connection between sections, in the Model tab of the program's general interface, we select the Connection option from the Enter group in the top toolbar. Then, we select the sections involved in the connection one by one with the left mouse button, or we use the crossing method, and then click on the right mouse button. This way, we access the connection editing window. This interface for modelling and analysing connections is the same as the one used in Cype Connect and has similar options, so consulting the associated documents for this program is recommended in order to learn how to use it. We can edit an existing connection to get to know the main features of this editing interface. To do this, we use the Edit option from the Edit group in the top toolbar. The symbol representing the connections is a purple pyramid, as opposed to the green pyramid corresponding to the accessories. By left-clicking on a connection, we return to the editing window. At the top, there are three tabs: Model, Analysis, and Sheets. In the first tab, Model, we can add and modify the different elements that make up the connection. To do this, we use the options available in the Operations group of the top toolbar. From here, we can also access other editing options and manage the connections library so that they can be used in other jobs. On the left-hand side, the list of operations carried out to define the connection is displayed, which can be activated or deactivated. By selecting each operation in the table, we can set its parameters using the options in the central panel. On the right is the model for viewing the model of the connection, which shows the result of the operations carried out. This window allows us to move the frame, orbit and zoom in to a completely three-dimensional environment. After completing the definition of the model, we access the Analysis tab, where we carry out the analysis and checking of the connection. In the top toolbar, we define the load cases to be considered, as well as the loads acting on each section. Both the load cases and the loads can be added manually or generated from the data of a structural design model made with programs such as CypCAD or Cype 3D. We then use the stress strain, rotational stiffness, or buckling options to start each of these analyses and carry out the corresponding checks. Further to the right, the following sections allow us to consult the results of the analysis carried out by selecting them from the drop-down menus, as well as to obtain different reports. The display on the left-hand side shows the coloured elements with the values of the chosen result, as well as their discretization in some cases. On the right-hand side, we find a series of tables displaying the values of the analysis carried out. This way, in the case of the stress-strain analysis, the maximum demand capacity ratio of the elements in the connection and the checks carried out on them are shown. After having modelled and analysed a connection, we can move on to the Sheets tab, where the tools for creating detailing drawings are located. The options in this tab are similar to those available in OpenBIM Layout. We can also access this interface to work with the Joints sheets from the Documents tab in the General Interface, by choosing the Joints option in the Sheets group. Here, we can insert views of the connection model at the desired scale that are dynamically linked to it. The program also features traditional drawing elements and dimensioning tools. Finally, when exiting the editing window, the program will incorporate the updated joint information and return to the general interface.